We've barely started our course, and you're already filled up with loads and loads of command keys and control keys and other shortcuts, and there are lots and lots more. How do you keep them all straight? Well, by repetition, number one, and number two, by using our handy-dandy keyboard shortcuts manual, which is under the Help menu. And one of the things you'll notice in the keyboard shortcuts manual, which is great for finding those shortcuts that you've forgotten, is this area, Commands Keyboard Focus Mode. Now, what is Commands Keyboard Focus Mode? Well, that is a special mode where a single key on your keyboard will perform a function without holding down Control, Option, Command. And we have mapped many of those common functions to your keys, which makes it very easy to perform common tasks. Now, first of all, there are three ways to get command focus. One is in the Edit window, and we can tell because this AZ over here is glowing yellow. But there's also a command focus mode in Groups and in Regions. Now, we haven't talked about Groups and Regions yet, but when one of these command focus modes is active, any keys you hit on your keyboard will affect those windows. So if you're working in the Edit window, you want to make sure that that command focus button is selected. A quick way of doing that, Command Option 1 selects this in the Edit window, 2, Region, and Command Option 3 in the Group. So I'll do Command Option 1. I'll just hide these out of the way. And let me show you a few of the command keyboard focus buttons. The first one is a great way for zooming in and out of a session. We'll talk a lot about zooming in a moment, but for right now, I can use my T key to zoom in and my R key to zoom out. Now, interestingly enough, if command focus is off, I just turned it off there, you'll notice that I can hit the Control key and R and Control key and T. So Control is like forcing command focus mode. When I have it on, I don't need the Control key, just R and T. I can use the keys P, L, semicolon, and single quote to move up, down, left, and right. You'll notice they're all located close to each other on the keyboard. If I move up with a P, you can see my selection moving up. Down with a semicolon. Hitting L moves to the start of that region, and I can move back a region at a time. Watch my playhead here. And single quote moves the other direction. So P, semicolon, L, and single quote moves up and down and left and right. Instead of using Command C for copy and Command X for cut, Command V for paste, and Command Z for undo, I can just use Z, X, C, and V without command. As long as I'm in keyboard's focus mode, they perform the same functions. The N key will toggle on and off whether my insertion point follows my playback. We talked about that before. If I'm playing a track and this is turned off, my playback always returns to where I started. If it's on, then playback moves to where I stopped playback. And my N key in keyboard focus mode is a way of turning that off. You may recall Control N was the shortcut I gave you before. That's if you're not using command focus mode. And it still works even if you are in command focus mode. One other quick function I'm going to show you is trimming. If I have a selection in a region, let's take this region here, and I click my cursor there and I hit the A key, the region is trimmed to start where my cursor is. Let me undo that. If I do S, then the end of the region is trimmed. So A and S are quick ways of trimming off the beginning and end of a region. Now, every key on your keyboard is mapped to a function. I'll hit those as we go, but you can always check that keyboard shortcuts reference to learn some new shortcuts. And remember, shortcuts are your key to moving quickly through your sessions.